What's up, everybody? This is Glenn from Restless Woodworks and Moses Lake Micro Armor. It's going to be kind of a twofold video. This will go both on the Woodworks channel and the Micro Armor channel. While I'm waiting for some polyurethane to cure, it's a slow process and I'm very impatient. So while that's in another room in a dust-free environment, curing and ready to go, we'll go ahead and we're going to start on another project. This will be a Micro Armor miniature storage box, quite similar to the homemade ones you've seen in other videos back here, except for this is going to be a smaller box, actually smaller than this one here. This in particular is a cigar box. It's a pre-made box you can find at any local craft shop, made by Darris. And while it could be easily modified to accept a 6mm miniature, I decided I was going to make my own. My chief complaint with this particular box, and I use it for all manner of different things, but as you can see here, we have this is a Matilda hull, and if we put it in there, you can see that it is very, very small in relation to the rest of the box. So we're going to make a much shallower version, and also not quite as wide. It's going to be more of a rectangular. So here we go. I hope you enjoyed this build, and we'll get cracking on this. As with so many of my builds, this box will be made out of just very simple and cheap material. This happens to be a scrap of 1/4-inch birch plywood. It's just under 16 inches long. I'm going to go ahead and rip it on this table saw down to its 2/2, and this will be the top and the bottom. So let's go ahead and get this fired up and get started. And there, now we have our top and our bottom. So while we already have the fence set to this width, we'll go ahead and we'll cut out some pieces that'll match this in length here on the table saw. Now we're going to go ahead and rip our small pieces in half. Now, okay, before I get any hate on the technique I just used, you have to realize that I've been working with this particular table saw and this little homemade push bar that I've made for a long time, and I'm very comfortable in my technique in cutting. It would be very ill-advised for you to try to do what I just did. I probably shouldn't do what I just did, but again, I'm comfortable around my equipment, and as always, if you're not comfortable using a piece of equipment like this in any fashion, you probably shouldn't use it, because this is in fact a very, very dangerous power tool. A table saw can kill you, at the very least injure you severely. So make sure you always use caution and work within the bounds of your skill level and comfort level when operating any type of power tool. That being said, we got our 4 sides done, and we're going to go ahead and glue them down to the bottom of this box. So we'll grab the tight bond and get to sticking. Now it's time to start the gluing process here. As always, I use Titebond 3, not because it's necessary, just because it's the only glue I ever use here in the wood shop. And I'm going to be kind of fast forward time skipping through this because you all should know how to glue 2 pieces of wood together by now. So here we go. Alright, so now the glue's dry, and I did a little bit off camera here. I decided to put a bit of a bevel, if you can see that or not, on the sides of this box. And all that was just putting it on a belt sander and just eyeballing it at an angle. It's just all done by eyeball. So all that remains now is to put the hardware, the hinges and the latch for the front. And I think we'll go ahead and put some Danish oil on this, and then we'll put just a thin piece of foam on the bottom and the top, just to protect the miniatures, and we'll be done. Maybe I'll do some artwork here. So I'm gonna do all this off camera, so you'll get to see what I got when I'm done. Okay, so I had a bit of a bozo moment there. I thought I'd press record when I did a couple of steps here, and I didn't. So to catch you up, I've already gone and stained this, or actually I should say oiled this. This is a Danish oil. This particular shade is dark walnut, but I wiped it off a bit earlier to get a slightly lighter shade. The inside of the tray has been lined with it's just a piece of black cotton duck fabric. Same for the bottom of the lid. And just using regular old multi-purpose adhesive. This is Scotch Super 77 here. You can use any kind you like. They all work pretty much the same. And for the front, I hand painted on this Afrika Korps logo. Not the typical and more, how should we say, historically accurate one. They normally had the Nazi Germany swastika. I have a slight aversion to swastikas. Not because I'm Jewish or anything. I just don't much care for swastikas. They're just not my thing. However, I did find a version of the Afrika Korps that had the Iron Cross, and that suited my tastes a bit better, so I went ahead and did that. So the last step we're going to do is we're going to affix the hardware to this, and then it will be done, and we will have a functioning Micro Armor miniature holding box. So we'll be right back. Okay, now we have here's the finished product. Two simple hinges there, and just a simple little flip latch, just to keep it from accidentally popping open. And here we have here's a German Panzer III. As you can see, there's a lot less headroom now. Now, some of the miniatures are much taller than the Panzer III, and of course you can always add some more foam or some slats for additional security of your miniatures. But in a nutshell, here we have a fully functional and rather decorative little Micro Armor miniature holding box for, well, I guess we'll put some Afrika Korps in this. So as always, have fun, happy gaming, go build some shit.